Hello everyone, family. Welcome back to another episode. On this episode, I'm actually going to be reading an article to you. I had intended to actually dissect it, summarize it, but there are in the article some people's experience that I don't really want to summarize and not give all to you. But I will put the link still down below if you want to go read it for yourself again. Maybe go back to something I said, or even see articles related. But let's get into it. So this was on CNBC. My brother actually sent this to me, and it's titled, "I'd rather bet on myself. Workers are quitting their jobs to put themselves first." So quitting is having a moment. As the U.S. job market recovers from the pandemic, some workers are feeling more empowered to prioritize their own well-being above their employer. Workplace leaders began predicting a mass exodus in early 2021, with one survey finding that 1 in 4 workers plans to quit their job after the pandemic. And in what some are calling the Great Resignation, 4 million people quit their jobs in April, sparked by confidence they can find higher pay, more accommodating hours, and better working conditions elsewhere. Other workers feel burned out, living and working through a global health crisis, are finding that the shift in leverage is helping them put their mental health and well-being first. Finding a better fit after unemployment crunch. After losing her retail job during the pandemic and being out of work for a year, Stephanie Becker was relieved to see an uptick in openings by spring 2021. She went on an interviewing spree in May, and by early June started working at a dog boarding and daycare facility in Phoenix. While she was eager to care for the animals, Becker, 21, says the work environment was untenable. Instead of working the day shift as previously discussed, Becker says she was assigned to work mornings that began at 4:30 a.m. She didn't get along with one of her managers, and when a family member back home on the East Coast became sick with COVID-19 recently, she was denied a weekend off in July to go care for him. Less than 2 weeks into the job, Becker says the mental stress was causing her to feel physically ill. Every day after work, she tells CNBC Make It, "As soon as I got into the car, I wanted to break down and cry. I just didn't want to do it anymore. Waking up at 3 a.m. to go do something I didn't want to do with people I didn't want to deal with didn't make me feel good." After one particular stressful shift, followed by a tearful evening at home, Becker says her boyfriend encouraged her to quit. He could cover the bills until she found new work, and she would use her side hustle selling artwork online to pay for groceries. The next day, she met with the manager she got along with, delivered the news, and handed in her equipment. Becker's jobless period might not last long in today's job market. The day after she quit, she had 2 job interviews lined up. She says finding a new job with health and dental benefits, which her previous employer didn't offer, is priority number 1. And she feels better about taking more time to find a good match. "I feel like I did rush in," she says, of accepting her last job. "It was my first job in a year because of COVID, and I was excited and wanted to start working, but this time I'll go a little slower." She adds, "If I could tell myself anything while I was trying to quit, it's this. If work is affecting you so much, it's not worth working yourself so hard and not feeling good that you aren't able to enjoy yourself at home." Trading the office for independence. Some employees have enjoyed the flexibility of working from home so much that according to one survey, 39% of people said they would consider quitting if their employers weren't flexible about remote work moving forward. That's what Detroit resident Sarah Fleming, 25, did last week. She spent the pandemic working remotely designing training materials for a mortgage company and embraced a new level of work-life balance. She no longer spent 40 minutes commuting to the office each day, and she could use pockets of time between projects to take care of household tasks, leaving evenings to focus on her photography side business. So she was surprised when in April she received notice that she was expected to be back in the office full-time a week later. The abrupt transition from working anonymously to dealing with rush hour traffic, crowded parking lots, abrasive coworkers, and late nights caused her to burn out. Over the span of a few weeks, I wake up dreading every single day, Fleming said. I'm generally a positive person and can find something to look forward to the next day. But when you're tired from the day before and wake up to a mountainous cycle of working for someone else until you fall asleep, it gets draining. I couldn't do it anymore. All the while, Fleming says she was hearing from friends who were quitting their jobs, sometimes simply to take a break after a series of crises that tested the world. She began saving money and put in her 2 weeks' notice to coincide with and honor Juneteenth, the now federally recognized holiday celebrating the emancipation of African Americans from slavery in the U.S. I quit right before Juneteenth, knowing the meaning of that holiday and that quitting that job would give me a sense of freedom and purpose. Fleming says, while I was celebrating with friends that weekend, I knew that come Monday I would have to clock into a workplace where I'm not appreciated as an employee. Instead of finding a new job, Fleming is going into photography full-time. I'd rather bet on myself than stay somewhere and be unhappy. She says that what some employers don't realize about the so-called Great Resignation is that people do want to work, but they're also burned out and need more workplace support. Aside from COVID, jobs are requiring a lot of people and there needs to be a shift. The 9-to-5 workday isn't realistic. I think having more time at home made a lot of people realize that and prioritize their own lives and mental health. Fleming hopes other people discouraged at work can use this moment to improve their situations, whether that's discussing better terms with a manager or finding something better on their way out. It was inspiration from others making the jump that 100% helped push this baby bird off the branch, she says. Trust your gut. And that's the end of the article, and I really wanted to read it because I think it really, it wouldn't be an article, I don't think, if it didn't resonate with a lot of people. And I know a lot of people were affected in many ways, different ways, through the pandemic, and maybe you're having some of these feelings and you're at a crossroads on what to do. I thought this was very beneficial read to share with you so that maybe it can help you in any decision you're trying to make with your career, or just simply making where you're at a better work-life balance for you, even if you choose to stay where you're at. So that's all I got. Again, this article will be down below if you want to read it yourself, and then see any of the comments. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. See you next time.